traveling patriot. This particular piece is an extension. This is Old Glory graffiti, and it's an extension of the American Expressions project, which I've been doing for the last 2 years. Prior to the 2012 election, I did a Kickstarter project and raised money to construct an 8-foot high, a 16-foot long American flag made of steel with components offset. So, such as this, stripes are offset, stars stick out. And I take this American flag from town to town and I let people share their feelings about America on the icon that guarantees that freedom. And then at each town I go to, I paint it red, white, and blue again. So someone has to break the veil of, you know, that kind of mystique that it's a sacred object. And then I got up here and I did not bring my truck, and somebody asked me, and they're like, well, where's the flag? Where's the flag? You've been dragging it everywhere. And so I got this barn door and provided a flag for Saul. Part of why this was so good with all of our international friends has been awesome, because as soon as they showed up, people said, oh, Americans. And then today, he added something to it. So graffiti is the first act of revolt. It is a human act of expression. The hand in the cave, the buffalo that you see in France, the first things you learn about in art history is graffiti. You know, one of the best pieces of graffiti I've seen was a wooden door from a prison in Scotland, and it had everybody's name carved into it. It's an inherent thing to do as a human being, to want to leave your mark. We all know this. In our country, you are empowered as a citizen to have a voice, to have a vote, and so I challenge people to step up and deface, enact, empower themselves to be part of the political process. We have that in this country. The whole project, American Expressions, came out of my disgust for simply talking about it. Sit around, drinking beers, pissing and moaning. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? This is what I did. I'm an artist, I'm a sculptor. I'm not just hanging out, consuming all the time, though I do make a lot of product. But if you want to affect change in this world, in our country, we have the opportunity, both politically and economically, to cause a shift. Maybe not a big one, but just, my purpose is just to poke into people's minds for a moment and say, hey, wait a second, you can do something. You can complain about it, or you can actually do something. So if one of you all here was very upset to see the flag defaced, paint it red, white, and blue again. You've got that freedom. But to simply complain doesn't cut it. Doesn't cut it in my book. So it's kind of a call to action. My art, I try to poke the bear, so to speak. Hence the Über alles. Some history from Bernhard.
Yeah, it's the beginning from the national hymn at the Dritte Reich. They sang this, Deutschland, Deutschland über alles.
Yeah. And this was pre-World War II, and then during World War II, the Allies and the Americans made it into kind of a slang. Like, they didn't translate it perfectly. They made it sound like German hubris more than what its real meaning is in the poetry that the song comes from. So I chose this graffiti, or these words, to inspire our guests to participate. It's open to anyone. I have markers, I have spray paint, and you know, the only thing is you can't stop someone from expressing themselves. They might mark over you, you can come back and mark over them. But the metal flag that I have probably has 30 coats of paint on it. It just keeps getting layered and layered. Yes?
Is the process more important than the finished product for this piece? And for your piece, because you've been documenting it. Is the act of everybody doing this more important than the final product?
Yeah. Yeah, it's about listening to people and photographing them, you know, getting art in the street. You know, we're all afforded an opinion on art. Everybody, you know, talk to the common man on the street. What do you think about this? Oh, it looks like a piece of crap, you know. Whereas if you take something and you kind of stick it in people's face, you say, engage with the art. You take it down to Main Street, you take it to the truck stop. You know, that's the art. You challenge people to think and participate.
So you chose to do it first this time
Yeah.
with the Uber Alles. Is it meant to be kind of like crass?
No, not really crass as
Say
much
poking
as,
the bear, like, is it meant to be kind of tongue in cheek?
yeah, a little bit. Something that the Germans could relate to, and also the history of the phrase being hubris, and yeah, I'm commenting on America, that we have a lot of hubris, that we think we're better than everybody else, but we don't really practice what we preach. Ergo, someone standing in front of this flag saying, no, you can't paint over this, well, that's not right. That's not the way